So if we wanted to have like a close game, this would be it. But I still want to check what Soulmat has. Let me just see what's going on. So this again is also a close game. Possibly. And then let me check this one. Kazers into Esprit, Garion, Luana, and Drew. Oh, I've got so many choices. I have so many choices. Frostball is playing with fucking Draze and Relalvin and Kazers. Oh my god. Oh, dude, I could mess up right now with the games. I'll go with the Soulmat Relalvin. I'll go with this one. Is it the 23rd today? Okay. What is Goku's build? He plays Core Warrior. I'll go through it momentarily. Okay. Let's go through this. So, Kazers is playing Axe Torch Staff on Sage Amulet, Rune of Adventure. This is Duelist Mirage on Chaos Trade Line with dueling. Chrono Debato, aka Draze, is playing Inspiration, Chaos, and on Chrono. So this is the side note Duelist. It runs through a series of invulnerability frames on the signets. You'll see that it's absolutely ridiculous, and it does a ton of spike damage as well using the Scepter 2 and 3. Frostball is playing Mirage again on the Sage Amulet, it looks like. Yep, so he's playing exactly the same build as Kazers, or Kazers. Jean Untadi, I have no idea how to fucking say his name, but he is playing the Elixir Hollow. So this is with Rocket Boots. He has substituted out Elixir U for Elixir S, so he's gone for Sustain over Quickness Uptime. That's interesting, but it does look like he's running... Wait, what the fuck? He has Rocket Boots, but he does have Gadgeteer, but he's gone for Power Range for Elite Uptime instead of going with the Static Disc that he'd be able to proc twice on the Particle Accelerator and the Rocket Kick. I mean, he's losing out on a lot of damage by not having the Static Discharge on these three skills. I'm not quite sure why you would run that. And then finally, you have Helm, who is running what looks to be Hammer Core Guardian. So high spike damage, rotational +1. Esprit is playing Hollowsmith on the Elixir side, so is running Rune of the Herald for the anti-power. He also has Rocket Boots with Elixir U and Elixir S, so has he's swapped out the Photon Wall for Elixir U and Elixir S instead of actually running any sort of like real defenses there. But again, he does have the Static Discharge, so he is getting that extra damage output onto the F1, the F2, and the F4. He is also rotational damage, by the way, because he has the Rocket Boots. Emil is weak, is obviously Firebrand support with the Signet of Mercy to reset. So if you want to quickly see that, there you go. I don't want to change anything. And those are the Amulet and the Rune choices. Revapop is playing what looks to be... Oh, he's playing the Sage Amulet build that Tenebrae played. Wait, is this Tenebrae? Wait, is it? I swear Tenebrae's... No, it's Garion. So, wait. Tenebrae was in another team, I swear. So, like, he's actually using Tenebrae's build. So this is the Sword Shield... Mace Axe build. It does have hybrid damage output, great sustain on the Sage Amulet. There's the Rune of the Sunless as well, and these are the trade lines. Tenebrae is the one that came up with this. It is Tenebrae's build, but it's nice to see that somebody else is attempting it and making it work. So that's fantastic. Luana is playing Chaos Dueling. I think this is exactly the same as what Kazers and Frostball are playing. However, Luana's running Rune of the Nightmare instead of Rune of Adventure. And I think everything else is the same. And then finally, I've got Goku, who is playing Core Warrior. So this is Strength, Discipline, and Defense with Great Sword, Mace, Shield, Rune of the Reaper, and Demolishes Amulet. So, again, this is still a side note duelist. It does do relatively well in 1v1s, but I'm yet to see how well it sustains into the current meta. In terms of, you know, will it actually be able to sustain a 1v2, or will it fold very quickly? Emil has been obviously taken down by that 3v1 committal. Does actually get to knock back Frostball as well. And I guess Frosty will slowly bleed him out now. It probably would have been the better bet for Emil to just be stomped there and get back into the game. As we can see, red team do have double node ownership right now. They will be coming back from this point deficit whilst the blue team are rushing towards the mid node. eSpirit currently engaging in a 1v1 against Kazers. Kind of not sure if that's the best bet into this Mirage when he already has 50% health. He's forced to use his Elixir S already in the 1v1. That's his defense, his only defense. Disengages in stealth, does have one tick of rocket boots left. He did not get the proc of the stab there from the Corona Burst because he hit into Helm's Aegis. Now, this is obviously the opportunity for the red team to take a big lead here. It's the Glacial Hammer and the Prime Light Beam simultaneously. Does have AED up as well, so that's really good. Does get the resustain. And we'll be looking to punish this Hollow-Smith ASAP, but does get spiked out by Helm as soon as his Glacial Hammer does come back up. So Magoku looking to disengage away, I suppose, to the next node. He does have 3 players that are in close pursuit of him. Uses the Shake It Off to get the stun break there. eSpirit still being bled out there. And now back into the fray in about 10 seconds. So Chronodabato, aka Draze, has just won the 1v1 into Luana and forced to disengage. Luana's going to rotate back mid to maintain neutral, I suppose. Does not want to give Frostball that node for free. Makes it too late. Obviously was not in close enough range to use the illusionary ambush to get onto the node. Chronodabato obviously following Luana, so obviously forcing that to be a 2v1. And now they've kind of like, red team have pushed up the map, if you can see that. So Chronodabato, aka Draze, he has pushed from the close node towards mid. Now Luana's going to break away to try and force the map to spread out once more. So Frostball was there to meet Luana in the middle. And then Frostball wanted to push into the far node, or the blue team close. So what Draze did was actually he met Luana in that mid node and allowed Frosty to rotate far. So now Luana's forcing this 1v1 and spreading the map way back out again. And he could actually win into this Hollow-Smith. The Mirage does have the lead regardless. That's the AED spike, which is exactly what this Hollow-Smith wanted. Gets the AED off, does punish Luana heavily and forces the disengage away, which means that the node stays secure for the red team once more. Helm obviously re-engages on the sword too. Does have Judge's Intervention still to go in, I think. Yep, so engaged on the sword too. There's the JI. And now Luana is dead. And I suppose eSpirit's going to be going in for that res alongside Emil. They do get the Prime Light Beam into Emil, so Emil does not get the Signet of Mercy res that they were hoping for. And that's going to force the... well, that's 2 members down on the blue team. I do not know what RevPop is doing. Currently engaging in a 2 duelist matchup into a Mirage. Chronodabato Draze did die. So that is one thing to pay attention to. So obviously that was a 2v2 that just became a 2v1. So Revpop has left. Revpop should be able to sustain Helm pretty easily. And I believe that he was out of combat long enough that he managed to maintain that whilst blocking all the attacks, so that he just regenerated full to health. Getting the chain stuns now and trying to encourage Helm to jump into him. So Revpop alone, holding into this 1v2, is doing a good job at actually preventing the midpoint from getting capped. There's the AED proc onto eSpirit. They land the Prime Light Beam onto Helm, and now they're looking to punish. They should get this. They do get him down. There's the Infused Light Pop by Revpop there, looking to secure this kill ASAP. Frostball goes in with the Distortion and the Chaos Storm to try and ensure that he gets that res, but it's not going to pay off. He disengages immediately, and now Chronodabato Draze is looking to hold that mid node. Now, the blue team need to push into the close node. I think Revpop should actually make this pressure movement towards the red team close. Get that node neutral and force somebody to answer to you. You have the lead in the 5v4. So, looks to me like he is actually rotating that way. Fantastic. And he'll force the Chronomancer to answer to him. And therefore, they actually reduce the red team numbers spread across the map. Now, eSpirit is obviously full capping this node. Somebody's going to be there to answer to him when that is Kaz's. So again, Emil is here to resustain the Hollow-Smith, which is fantastic. He's not going to have plenty of anti-condition. He's killing himself right now. I can tell that eSpirit is currently moving around with a ton of torment on him. And even though he was being resustained by Emil, that doesn't really make any sense. Signet Mercy, Signet Mercy, Signet Mercy, Signet Mercy, and there it is. They gave up the node for seemingly no reason. He could have just used Elixir S and be resustained by Emil during that. That was interesting play. I honestly think that would have been the best play, using the defenses right there. And obviously the rocket boots movement there with the 12 stacks of torment was not the best idea. Red team looking to recap that blue team close. 2 players down on blue. Frostball actively seeking out the decap in the mid. Pressures on to Rev Pop. MC Goku here to do some damage as well. Now, I don't know what kind of condition removal Goku actually has. So into the double Mirage, I'm not sure how great this is for him. He'll use his healing signet to get that resistance uptime and disengage, I suppose. And now everybody, you can see that everybody's breaking away. So the red team don't overcommit. When they know that there's a duelist, aka Draze, who can contest into another duelist, they leave it go and they rotate away. So they're looking to create map pressure elsewhere. You can see there's currently 2 men or 2 red team players that are defending this node. Luana's now here contesting into the Hollowsmith. With the pressure of Helm as well, I'm not sure Luana will be able to win into this. I don't think that Luana would win this 1v2. Helm does have the benefit of as well of having smite conditions and contemplation of purity, aka huge counter condition play that also does damage. Now, blue team fully committing towards the core guardian and the Hollowsmith. Hollowsmith is in stealth right now, looking to re-engage. They do get Helm down. He gets the prime light beam off into Espirit's face. I think Espirit probably has AED up. Yeah, so he wouldn't have died anyway. He does have rocket boost to get back in, into close quarters. And they don't want to leave him to go for that. Don't let him get that second life. That's silly. You could have chased, I suppose. 5 minutes left on the clock. Espirit looking to push back towards Luana so they can punish Frostball. Now, that's going to be kind of shitty for the red team because now the red team... sorry, for the blue team, because now the red team, they have this second life. So everybody in the red team has higher toughness now, and everybody has a higher health pool. So obviously, normally this build would have about 16,200 health, and now it has 21,282. So there is literally an additional 5,000 health pool on each player in the red team. Now, that's pretty punishing when the blue team are already struggling to maintain no dominance. They have to push through this extra layer that has just been applied to the red team. Now, I do think that Espirit probably could have commit to 1v1ing Zartak there. That might have been the better play because granting them that second life buff for 90 seconds is pretty detrimental. Espirit dies immediately to the condition slam of Kaz's, and he will just be left there to bleed out. There's not going to be any reset. And, well, I mean, maybe actually Signa Mercy. Can he get the finish? He gets 35,000 healing. I think there was poison put onto Espirit. Will he get this? Helm could just slam down with the Glacial Hammer. I don't think he's going to get this. He doesn't have enough like healing output. They do get the neutral, though, which is important. So the committal of Kaz's off node to punish the Firebrand did lead to the passive loss on the node. Draze getting pressured pretty hard by Magoku and Rev Pop. Look how much he heals. Like, he just used a Signet of Ether and heals for like 7k. And then goes invulnerable for a second. Follows up with Signet of Inspiration. Invulnerable, by the way. Has shield 4, by the way. No damage, by the way. It's such a dumb build. I hate it. I absolutely hate this build. There's the healing Signet usage by Magoku to try and prevent any condition output. This is basically Duelist. This is a double Duelist mirror matchup. Rev Pop does go down to the Gravity Well output from Chrono, from Draze, and there's the Continuum Split usage of Gravity Well again in order to try and pressure Magoku. Gets 7,119 damage out, by the way, on that one ability. That was retarded. Scepter 3. Yep. So even on a Demolisher's Amulet, they have that much sustainability where they take no damage. You can see why there's a lot of people that hate this build at the moment, why a lot of people are very angry in terms of like its sustainability and damage output capability. Huge boon uptime, huge defensive uptime, huge protection uptime, crazy damage, and a shitload of sustain in the form of invulnerability frames. And it comes from Blood Inscriptions. So, where the fuck is it? I can't... Oh, here it is, yeah. Signets have improved effects. Activating one grants you distortion. So you get extra healing on your heal, but you also go immune. And you get extra allied targets on your Signet of Inspiration. So you grant boons everywhere. So unfortunate for the blue team to face that in their first round. That's pretty shitty for them. But arguably, it was an equal matchup. It was equal for a time, you know, for about 4 minutes. And then I think the red team just ran away with some kills, and the blue team just never managed to come back from that. Tayskin lost? Shut the fuck up. No way. You're kidding me. I don't believe you. What? It's kind of weird that they won. Yeah. He just plays like... This build is like complete cancer. Complete cancer. I hate this. I absolutely hate this build. Okay, so we're going to go through the red team real quick. We have Tenebrae obviously playing his hybrid build. Again, this is the one that Garyon was playing, but it is Tenebrae's build. It's a hybrid sort of rotational... you can kind of say it's rotational damage dealer, but I would say it's more like a rotational bruiser. It doesn't do tons of damage, but it's so sustainable that you can't really pressure it away, but it will still do damage to you, you know? Eldarion is playing... this looks like Sword, Staff, Rev, so standard rotational power damage. Groshton is playing his Radiance Firebrand build, which is a side node bruiser. It's not great in a 1vx, but it is pretty decent in a 1v1. It can contest into the likes of Mesmers, and it has enough sustainability that it can land, it can survive a little bit, but it doesn't really survive for that long, and it's forced to disengage very, very quickly. Obviously, he can come in and sustain his team fight, his teammates in these team fights a little bit, but does not have crazy amounts of healing power to back that up. Kita is playing Mirage. This is on the Sage Amulet. It's a hybrid output. Obviously, it's the standard meta build with Chaos and Dueling. It's what we'd expect to see everywhere. And then finally, Flash, who is playing Mace Firebrand. So he is the support type. Does have Signet of Mercy. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Okay, so he's more of a rotational support, not applying himself to anybody in particular, by the way. Okay, anyway, blue team. They have the another Sword, Staff, Revenant, rotational +1, exactly the same as Eldarion. Chris is Firebrand support, again, looking to support Miho, so is dedicated into a pair. Miho obviously going to be playing the Soul Reaper, I suppose. Yep, Soul Reaping and Curses there with the Deadshot. This build hasn't changed in about 4 seasons. Sakaya, obviously, on the Elixir X Hollowsmith, does get the Rampage, which is pretty lucky. It's completely RNG on what that button does. But this is on Leadership and Demolishes. Not running Static Disc, does have the Kinetic Battery for quickness uptime, and the Power Wrench failed the jumping puzzle. So does have the Elite coming up all the time, every single time that he dodge rolls. This is pretty much standard meta. And then finally, you do have the Deadeye of Deskfire. So Deskfire is running Marauders here with Scholar, Rifle, Dagger, Pistol. So Dagger Pistol grants him additional stealth uptime and will enable him to stay in stealth for longer as he rotates around the map. We can watch what he does a little bit just so that I can showcase how broken this class is. I'm really not a big fan of the current state of this class. I think it's retarded. But you'll see. I'm waiting for a Death's Judgment. Get a Death's Judgment on Tenebrae, dude. Go on. Okay. Yeah, Binding Shadow. Immobilizes or knocks down your opponent. What's up, Sarah? Now watch what he does to Groshton. Groshton being the next target, I believe. Oh no, he's going on Kita. Just watch. Eldarion? No. 10,595 on the Death's Judgment. Infused light being used by Eldarion there. Boop. What? Oh, he dodge rolled. And obviously has 1500 range as well, so he doesn't really have to be anywhere near the opponent. Is there any way to predict or counterplay the knockdown from Deadeye? You see like the sort of like shadow come out of them. Like it's like a little, it looks like a breath almost. Rifle 4 through the shadow wall in order to gain some stealth. Yeah, dude. I mean, it will do like 20k sometimes. For sure. Uses the renewed focus elite. Of course, gets the 4.5 second evasion frame where he can just like poke. There's no way that any of them stand a chance, really, against like. You see, the thing is, this build, right? If you don't have anybody to pressure out this class, it will excel. It will hard punish throughout the game, and this happens in solo queue all the time. If you honestly, if you cannot pressure this, you will lose. So, I suppose what they need is Eldarion, aka Bree, to jump on the back of Desti, of Desfire here. Are you just going to show Deadeye all game to prove it's broken? Nice cast. Shuriken, I've been doing this casting job, for free for about, well, just over a year now. I can tell you right now that this is the first time that I've ever paid so much attention to a single class. Thank you for focusing on the negatives and, you know, not saying, oh, okay, maybe he's right to showcase some of this stuff just so that we actually see what it's like in the community. Please kindly fuck off. Okay, so Red team are going to be able to come back from this if they are able to take a node back. They will cap their close node, and far node is currently neutral. One player has gone down for the red team. Kida is bleeding out as we speak. He'll be back in the game in about 15 seconds. And red team are going to be looking to defend this mid node whilst they get those last 2 ticks. 4 players of blue are here to contest into Flash. Tenebrae is also there, but it looks like Flash is going to get hard pressured as the Firebrand here. Using the jumping puzzle on the outside, he will not get knocked down because of that stab up time. But the Deadeye can hard pressure him from the outside. Tenebrae literally getting 4v1'd right now. If he makes it out of here alive, that's pretty fucking crazy. Eating the Dagger Storm does have Infused Light as well, so Shadow Murasaki won't really be able to do that much. There's the Infused Light. He actually has the Dome passive as well, so when he pulls out the, or when he swaps weapons, oh, sorry, it was when he heals. When he heals, he gets that Dome. I forget how that tray line works. So blue team actually have double node ownership, which is kind of to be expected after they rotated those 4 players in to maintain the ownership. You see the rotation there of Shadow Murasaki taking the decap of the red team close node. And as we speak, the red team are currently decapping the opposite side of the map. So they did just get the decap there onto Henge. So there's a lot of mobility taking place here from both teams. Everybody is looking to get those decaps and not necessarily make themselves static around the map. You see Chris looking to get that Signet Mercy res. He does get it onto Big Zen. So the Revenant is rallied there. And now this resets the team fight. Flash obviously being the focus. I do not know if Flash can actually sustain that. He will not. You can see them all trying to peel for Flash, but they do not have enough kit to enable that. So now 4 players of the blue team are hard pressuring Tenebrae. He doesn't have any kit left either, and he has followed. So Flash and Tenebrae being left to bleed out, whilst one blue team members, aka Sakaya, does take that Henge node and make it their own. In this time frame, though, whilst that blue team applied 4 players to a single node, the red team have picked up 2. So it would be smart for probably Kida or Flash. So I know Flash is only just respawned, but it would have made sense for one of them to be on that node defending it. I'm pretty sure not all of them died. So this is pretty bizarre. One of them is trying to currently get the res onto Eldarion whilst they watch the body. That's... Kida's decision-making there was not ideal. I genuinely would have like forced the contest on mid, and then you would have actually maintained double node. Again, they're not owning anything. They're not maintaining anything. So who are their node maintainers here? So Tenebrae could have been a duelist with his hybrid build. Grosjeton and Kida and Flash. So they have 4 players that could effectively do this, but they're putting themselves over 2 nodes instead of like 3. Whereas the blue team have like a rotation-based team, but they're forcing themselves to rotate as a 4-man, which is like detrimental to their comp, I think. They need to leave like players on nodes. They have to. So red team, once again, Tenebrae has just picked up his close node, and you can see that the Flash and Eltron are now looking to maintain this far node. It's neutral, but, you know, if they can maintain it neutral and not necessarily give it to anybody in particular, then that can lead to team gain. So there is a big team fight taking place. Tenebrae has taken the decap there as well. Keita looking to get the decap, the disengage, and rotates back on his portal just in time for the Deadeye to pick him up here. I don't know if Grosjean will be able to get this. Grosjean will eat a Death Judgment. Watch it. Or will he? That's a lot of damage. Straight away on the Binding Shadow, followed by 8.2k. Nice. So 2 players down for the red team, about to be 3. Grosjean will follow 100%. He does get the kill onto the Deadeye. Holy shit, Sky using the Elixir S there to secure the res. I don't know if Grosjean can do that. Good usage of Shield 5 to CC Sakaya away from that body whilst he tries to get the res. And this is some crazy cleave that's trying to come out, but he's unfortunately unable to cleave through both the Firebrand and the Hollowsmith simultaneously. Now you can see the rotation there of the blue team Revenant, who has come into hard pressure away. Lands the Rifle 5, and Grosjean will follow. So we see that the full rotation there of Shadow has taken the decap. He's reset the node, and now he's looking to cap that. It's going to take about 15 seconds. The red team do still have ownership over their close node, and they are contesting in mid. However, they've been forced away from that, with Keita now following his teammate who is dead, Grosjean, who will be back out in a second. I suppose that's still going to maintain the 5v4 for at least another sort of 30 seconds. Red team need to be really careful here, because if they die now into these numbers disadvantages, then they're going to be completely cucked. They need to group up, which is what they're doing. Perfect. And they have one person who's rotating alone, and that is Flash, who can arguably self-sustain himself. So kind of makes sense. All right, they're all pushing in towards the middle now. I suppose they want to make something happen. They want to go to far, or they want to go to mid. Okay, so whilst they pressure here, look at what the Mirage is doing, all right? So Keita is making the rotation out straight to far. He's ignoring the team fight, but he's kind of like forcing this. It's now a 4v4, but it was a 5v4. Deathfire has had to run to answer to that Mirage. The red team do get Miho down. However, that was the Signet of Mercy res. Nobody seems to be watching Chris. They weren't aware of his stability uptime, and they could not interrupt on the Signet. Now, everybody is committing to Eldarion. They do get the res onto him. You can see the Deadeye has now rejoined this team fight. And Big Zen was about to go down, but he gets fully healed by the Infused Light. This is such a clusterfuck. That was huge! That was huge! That was the Axe 5 of Tenebrae, which pulled them all into the middle, followed by the Staff 5 chain knockdown. That was a really, really good CC combo. Pog, Champ. Nice play there. It led to 3 players going down. Nice combo. That was a huge CC chain. Easy. Temporal Rift. Threw down the Rift. Pulled them in the middle. Staff 5 through them. I don't know if they planned that or it just synergized somehow, but it was perfect. Okay, all right. So we do see that the red team do get double node, and they do get the beast in order to maintain or to regain some of those points. That's a good play, good call. They just killed 3 players off, so they weren't going to lose the beast, really. Unfortunately, the spawning of those 3 blue players has now led to a neutral on the henge. Yo, Zod, thank you very much, man.
Back to unsub, sorry.
It's all good, dude. Thanks for not unsubbing. I appreciate it. All right, so red team do maintain their close node. They have 3 players in a 3v3. Sorry, a 4v4. They're having a 4v4 over here. Keita was down. I think he just got rallied. Grosjean is pretty low as well. He needs to resustain himself. Does still have 1 charge of his heal. And he has gone down. Flash going to be looking to get that Signet of Mercy, but it's not up. And therefore, the blue team have won that engagement. However, they're only 5 points ahead. They will get the cap on the henge. They're going to gain some points here anyway from getting the kills. So there's 3 players down. They'll bleed him. So that's a guaranteed plus 5 points. Red team still have that node on their close. They are going to be in a huge numbers disadvantage as this is happening. Maybe they could have pushed for like a beast as they saw that happening. Hold the node neutral, go get the beast, give themselves the point lead. Keita does get the portal out. Tenebrae does manage to get the disengage as well. It's weird to see people using Portal. People don't really use Portal. Oh! Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, oh no. Oh! Oh. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Okay, now it matters. Now it matters. Red team did literally just get the decap on the blue team close, and then they picked up mid node. It was kind of the right call, I think, but I don't think that I don't think Grosjeton has enough damage to actually answer to that. I don't think he had enough damage to kill the beast off quick enough before the Deadeye would be able to take it from him. It's a shame. It's a shame, but it's a close game nevertheless. Still a good game. Fuck. Why is Tournament of Legends still there, dude? It's a troll. Wait, so who's in Pomelanio's team again? It's going to be Sakiki and such into Balava, maybe? I don't know. Okay, hang on. All right, fine. I'll watch this one. Okay, so we already know about Red Team. We've seen them play already, but I'll go over it again. We have the Core Hammer Guardian running the Valkyrie and Rune of the Lynx on the Sword Focus. Those are the trait lines. Jun Entity is playing the Elixir Holo. Actually, no, he's not running Elixir X. He's running Prime Light Beam. But this is still the other Elixir. He does have Elixir S, but no Elixir U. I suppose I can't call it Elixir Holo, considering it's not running Elixirs. It just has one. But yeah, it's the standard rotational damage dealer, I suppose. Although he has removed Elixir U for Elixir S. So he has more sustain than he does damage dealing. Frostball obviously playing the Sage Amulet Staff Axe Torch build. Exactly the same as what Kazes is playing. So they are both looking to be side node duelists or engage in those 1v1s and 1vx. And then finally you have Chrono Debato, aka Draza, who is playing the Chrono build at the moment, which is Chaos and Inspiration. And that is with Scepter Shield and Staff on Rune of Radiance and Demolishes. So the team itself is actually running what I would say is 3 duelists, 3 node sustain, and then 2 rotational damage dealers in the form of their Core Guardian and their Hollow Smith. The blue team, they have a Firebrand support, which is running Signet of Mercy. They have Baelzed, who is on a rotational Revenant, so sword, staff, with, I think this is the standard meta build. Yep. I'm the real me, aka Ferios. He is playing on Illusions, dueling on a Carrion Amulet Staff. Axe Torch, Scepter Pistol. So looking to do crazy amounts of both power and condition damage simultaneously. He did actually just trigger the Hollowsmith AED there. So I suppose he's forced to disengage because he won't be able to answer the hybrid damage dealing. Dauntless on the Duelist Spellbreaker. So I actually want to see which version he's running. He is on Rune of Earth with Defense Discipline. So I was going to say that he was running Tremor War, but I did see that he had Feather Grace and a bunch of stances. So I thought that he was running the old school build. This arguably is better into what the red team are running because they have high condition output, and this grants a lot of resistance, and that in itself is very, very beneficial into that. And then finally, Pain obviously is playing the Sword Dagger Thief, which is the rotational +1 with loads of utility, and that utility will be very useful. One thing that I know that Syndrun is probably already thinking right now, because Syndrun was watching me stream the other day and I was playing Thief, and he saw that they had, like, say, a Chronomancer and such. He might be recommending to use Bassi Venom here into, like, the likes of the Shield 4 spam on the Chrono. And I suppose the Bassi wouldn't really be terribly useful into the Mirages, but maybe actually the Hollowsmith is... Oh, he is running Photo Maul, so it would be very useful there to land through that. And against Helm as well with the Aegis uptime. So maybe Bassi Venom would have been best on this Thief, but still. Dagger Storm is still really good with the 4-second evasion window. Dagger Storm is way superior. Ticey, I mean, I'm literally repeating what Syndrun has said. I mean, you might have an opinion. I'm just repeating what he said. Okay, so Red Team at the moment do have a 50-point lead. They have both side nodes owned right now. Frostball currently bleeding out, but the Red Team do not have any way of rezzing him unless they commit to that. They do not have any Signet of Mercies or Illusions of Life. Dauntless has died on the side node, so he's actually lost the 1v1. And now the blue team are going to be at a deficit until they manage to answer to that. Now, there's 4 players of red team in the mid looking to pressure Pain and Repent away. We do see the rotation there of the blue team Thief, aka Pain, who has pushed to get that decap. He's now going to force Helm to recap that node, and now he's creating an advantage across the map. He's probably going to ignore cases and push for the fight that's happening on the other side of the map in order to regain that numbers equality, like to bring that equilibrium back. So at the moment, it is actually still a 2v2 now, but one of them just died again, so Belzed is out. I suppose Pain now understands that that would not be a good thing to engage on. And there's the rotation again of the Thief to get that decap. So if you are a Thief and you're wondering how to play Thief, utilize the Shortbow 5 Infiltrator's Arrow and get yourself around the map to ensure that you prevent the passive point gain of your teammates. Of your enemy team, rather. He's not walking outside of the ring because he doesn't want to get knocked over. Dagger Storm does not persist through Hammer 5. If you walk into Staff 5 as well from a Guardian, you will also fall over. Same goes for a Fear Wall or the Fear Ring. They all interrupt Dagger Storm. So regardless of whether or not you have like a 4.25 second of evasion, you can still be knocked over because there's no stability in Dagger Storm anymore. Therefore, when you walk into those things, you do get knocked over. Now, you can see the Pain is just trying to force people to answer to him. He has not really contributed that much else at this point besides that rotation. He's just trying to draw people to follow him back and forth. He might get this decap, but straight away, returns on the Shadow Step. Good job. So, at the moment, Pain is the only person in this game who is actually managing to slow the game down. It's kind of unfortunate, really, that the blue team haven't been able to turn that into anything. They've had Helm die. Helm is back on respawn now, so again, he's able to answer the Pain now. He's trying to cap that node. The numbers advantage has existed for the blue team for this entire period of time, but they really haven't translated it into anything. They do have side nodes. Question is whether or not Pain can maintain that. He obviously could not answer the Helm, so now this could lead to good things as long as Farius doesn't die here. In fact, as long as nobody in the blue team dies here and they come out on top of this team fight, then they will actually have an opportunity to take the game back. They force the Hollowsmith away. Hollowsmith uses the Toss Elixir to go into stealth and get out. Pain probably should not be the one 1v1ing this guy, but he does have teammates nearby. He obviously wants to disengage and probably aiming to get to the far node ASAP. Jose forced to kite away from the Mirage there. 7,100 damage from the Scepter 3. Full heals on the Signet. Gets the invulnerability. So the Hollowsmith of the red team has fallen. Blue team still overcommitting to this waterfall node, even though the red team currently have double node. Although we do see that Dauntless is currently pressuring the Mirage away here, so Frostball now has to answer to Dauntless. I think that this will take a relatively long time for Dauntless to take back, unless he can pressure. Dagger is very useful into Mirage as well. The daze on the Dagger 3 is very, very good into Mirage. And there we go. So actually, they do get the neutral just from the +1 there of Pain. Neutral is good. Neutral is perfectly fine. So at the moment, we do see that I believe Chrono Debato, aka Drazit, was picking up Waterfall after the overcommittal of the blue team to defend that node. They did lose it. They gave up in the end and moved towards mid. There's now a 4-man potential into a 2. So 4v2 in mid. Red team 100% get that decap in mid. There's no way of maintaining that. And now Pain, I suppose, is going to try and force Drazit to return to his node, or at least force him to chase him whilst he gets that decap. I think, yeah, he can keep up with him. He uses the blink. He uses Staff 2. So he keeps the phase traversal. And now he's forced to answer that. So now Pain might be able to get the full cap of the mid here. Drazit's going to rotate back. Dauntless is still in that 1v1. Where is he? Wait, fuck. My buttons. Here we go. He's going to die to the +1 of the Hollowsmith, so forced to rotate away, which gives up ownership of that node. This is obviously the correct way to play. He needs to kite out. He still has a stun break there on the Featherfoot Grace. Staff 5. Probably follow it with full counter if he gets engaged on again. And all that they really wanted here was Frostball to get ownership of that node. So you can see the +1 came in, forced Dauntless away from the node, and now that was capped completely by Frostball. And now the 1v1 continues, but the red team passively gain points on this mine node whilst they wait, or quarry, or whatever you want to call it. Rom did not have enough QP, so he's not playing in this this MAT, unfortunately. So I believe that we've got Chrono Debato, who has just picked up the waterfall once again, forcing the team fight back in the mid. The blue team are just struggling to actually turn this into something, because every single time that they go anywhere, they don't have enough damage to translate that into a win, into a team fight win. So they have like sustainability, but their damage is like severely lacking. And that's kind of weird to think, considering they do have the Revenant and the Thief combo. And maybe it's not so much the damage is lacking, but that the red team sustainability is way above what they can actually bring out reliably. And by that, I mean that they have a Chronomancer, they have double Mirage, they have like they have the Holosmith with the AED, you know, like there is just so much preventative there. And so much defensive utility that the red team just really are on top of all the damage that they're doing. Pain is rotating like a bitch, okay? Pain is doing everything that he can to maintain neutrality across the map. And unfortunately, given how sustainable the red team is, paired with Pain rotating, by the time Pain is like rotated somewhere to get the decap, his team have like eventually lost that team fight because there's just so much sustainability. It's almost unfair, you know? Whereas Rom does not have QP, qualifying points. They need to get the reset on Helm. Belzed's going to die and rally Helm, and then Pain's going to stay dead. We're 11 minutes into this game, guys. This round is the semi-final. But you see, maybe this kind of like restores faith in people who were the people that were sat on Reddit going, Mesmer's not broken. Mesmer's not fucking played at MAT level. Mesmer is so shit. Nobody plays Mesmer. Wait, what is this? I mean, Drazza is literally ex-ESL. So is Kaz's and so is Frostball. And they're all playing Mirage. GG, guys. Okay, so once more, we do see the red team. This is the final, by the way, guys. Kazers is still playing his same build, the Sage Amulet Hybrid. Frostball is playing exactly the same build. They're going to be on side notes. Chrono Debato is playing the Chronomancer build again on the Demolishers with Scepter Shield and Staff. So they're going to have 3-node contest once more. You have the Holosmith, rotational damage dealer, and Helm, who is playing the Core Hammer Guardian. Skiki on the blue team is playing Sword, Staff, Rev. This is the first team that we've actually seen with these guys. Sorry, the first game we've seen with these guys. We know that they've been playing all the other rounds, and they've won all those other rounds. I think Teapot's been covering those. So they have a rotational damage dealer on Skiki. Phaelantith, a.k.a. Maverick. He is playing, looks to be Sword Dagger Thief. Core. Chicken Wings and Cookies is Flandry, who is playing Axe Sword Warhorn. On the Soul Beast there as a 1vx duelist into the Chrono. Reliable Hospital, aka Chunzu, is playing the Firebrand support with the Signet of Mercy. And finally, you have Synod, who is using the Curse's Soul Reaping Scourge play. So this is the team fight damage, the team support. They have the duelist, and then they have the rotational damage dealers, which is the Rev and Thief. This is exactly the composition that I said was the meta right now. This is pure meta. Okay, they have exactly the optimum comp for like the monthly AT and high level play, in my opinion. Pretty sure that's not Primal, it's Black Magic. Isn't that him? Oh wait, no, it's not Tim Maverick. Oh, it's not. No, you're right. So at the moment, even though the red team have lost Frostball, the red team are the only team on the map that have a node. Blue team probably needed to ensure that they got one node there. Now that the Chrono is back alive, Flandry's probably not going to pick up this node in this 1v1. Especially considering there is 2 players pushing in to pressure. So they're going to like hand a node over, and then the red team are, I suppose, going to look to dominate just by maintaining node ownership. You know, very slowly but surely. Helm does die to the burst there of Sakiki, which is very, very important. That forces the 5v4, and now maybe they can actually unload onto Draze and therefore force themselves the pickup of a node. Unrelenting Assault follows into the staff, sorry, the Sword 4. Oh, Shield 4. Fuck. Sakiki is applying enough pressure until he knows that Flandry's going to have ownership. 2 ticks, 1 tick, and Draze gets back on the node before Flandry picks it up. So there wasn't even a guaranteed pickup. However, Draze is going to be forced to use his immunities here at some stage. And when he does, Flandry will get that node. So you can see how he's not using those invulnerabilities too quickly because he knows that, that's what he'll be doing. Now Frostball is here. He can heal himself, or he can apply those boons. Oh my fucking god, that pressure. And Flandry has been forced to disengage and will not sustain. I'm surprised that Flandry didn't actually die there on that fall. I thought Flandry was going to get some fucking fall damage there. That's crazy. I literally jumped with 240 health and it looked like there was enough. That's crazy. All right, so yeah, once more, red team have still maintained this close node, and looks like blue team don't really want to like force themselves to fight on that node. They want to play double node, and that's fair enough. They have the sustain of the mid node with the Firebrand and the Scourge on it, and they have the duelist of the Soul Beast who can contest that node and maintain it. So all they really need to do is apply themselves to the double node, and they can win this game. But it's going to be a very, very slow pickup. There is definitely enough pressure that can be applied by Sakiki. Sakiki does have a good amount of unblockable damage. That was good play there by Draze, forcing himself back inside the gravity well, which meant that Sakiki ate it. And this kind of sucks, actually. Synod has died whilst Chunzu was out contesting the node into Chrono. Again, he's not going to like out-sustain 2 players, so he should have actually just been with Synod. He's going to force himself to rotate back towards the spawn point now, where Synod is going to be coming out momentarily, and the 2 of them will be pushing into this node together to push away Draze. Now, this could still lead to an eventual win for the red team, because at this moment they are 20 points up, well, 14 points up, and they do have mid node picked up. This node is still contested by Kaz's, and the only person who's here to answer to it is Black Magic. This is not ideal. Double node pickup means big lead coming for the red team if there is nothing that happens to create neutrality. Flandry once again answering to the Mirage there, and the Chrono CC. It's going to be way too much to answer to, surely. Hollowsmith comes in as well. The red team just don't want the blue team to have any node coverage whatsoever. Now, this is where the blue team really should be rotating and punishing the overinvestment. You can see there's 4 red team players here right now, correct? So what could this mean? Well, if the Revenant actually moved off, if Sakiki had gone off and actually got the decap on the close node, this would have actually reduced the point gain that they were getting. And ultimately, we would have seen that the blue team would have probably equalized things in this instance. Now what's going to happen is they lost their neutrality. They lost their node ownership in mid. They've lost their node ownership on home. And they now have no opportunity to get that decap on the windmill. So that really was their opportunity there to continue their passive point gain and to deny the red team any further point gain. They need this thief to actually be on the ball with the decaps. He can't be doing what he's currently doing. His investment in team fighting is definitely going to be their downfall. Helm is dead though, so this is a 5v4. Pushing the momentum plays isn't necessarily a bad thing. Chunzu answering to the condition output of Kazers. Again, he's not going to have any trouble answering to that, but there should be somebody who's pushing to this node already. Like, this has been way too much time. Helm is going to be back out in 10 seconds, and that is their opportunity window to get that decap, and they've just left it. I know they want to play double nodes, but sometimes like that rotation just to get that decap should be enough. Cinderer is saying he should have gone Bassi for the +1 for the Chrono. Just so you guys know I'm not chatting shit, here you go. Someone who was questioning me earlier, saying that Basilisk Venom is shit compared to Daggerstorm. All right. Right, now we do see the rotation there of the Thief towards the windmill. So, again, way too fucking late. But this is, again, going to slow the game down a little bit more. There is 8 minutes left. Home still owned by Chicken Wings and Cookies, aka Flandry, who is answering to the Hollowsmith and the Chronomancer simultaneously. And now Helm is here as well. That's pretty fucking scary. How is he sustaining this? Chrono is going to go down, falls to the ghastly breach that's put down by Synod. This is important. Double node pickup for the blue team. If they maintain this, they take their lead. They need to make sure that the Thief actually brings some pressure to the mid node. Now, wait, did Flandry just finish him off, or did he bleed out? I think he just bled out, right? I think that's all that happened. Hollowsmith looking to rotate out, does have AED up, so possibly debating, making people think that he hasn't used it or doesn't have it. They're going to trigger it right now. Follows up immediately with the Elixir S, as Synod was waiting for him. Helm has died once more, which is definitely an opportunity for the blue team to take mid. That was a 4v1, yes. The Soul Beast was maintaining 4 players and actually forced Helm to use his renewed focus there. Okay, so Syndruna has built on this. He says, Daggerstorm is only being used for getting saved right now from pressure of overextending. It's only versus the Chrono, the Bassi, versus Mirage, Daggerstorm or Bassi does fuck all, so don't know why I even mentioned Bassi. Amy, you're dumb. Okay, we don't have to, like, add the... I shouldn't... I just kept reading. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, blue team are 2-0'd up. This is perfect. This is how they bring their lead back. However, they have... it looked like they were going to lose their home node. However, Flandry has got back on the node and has freed up the Thief. So the Thief is going to be looking to, potentially kill off the Chronomancer, but arguably this is not worth it, considering you both have the Firebrand and the Soul Beast here simultaneously. Frostball and the Hollowsmith looking to engage in this. It's a 3v3. There is good sustainability on the back of the Firebrand that will prevent a lot of the condition output that's coming from the likes of Frostball. That said, they just have to make sure that they rotate. Okay, so they do get the Hollowsmith down. The Chrono is pushing back in. Mid node is free. Far node is free. Now watch what the Thief does. Like, is the Thief actually going to make these movements? I don't think this is the correct play. Bro, you knew that they were there. You saw them, right? So you were never really going to be able to do anything. You should have been pushing, like, straight far. Force them to follow you. Make them move. If Helm follows you far, whilst, you know, even if you get this far, Helm is not going to get back to mid as quickly as you do, right? So you can force that team spread. Force the team to, like, react to you. You are a Thief. So now the blue team are committing mid. They have the Firebrand, they have the Revenant and the Scourge. They will pick up this node. I think that Flandry is still maintaining this node. This is pretty fucking crazy. Soul Beast, Omega Lol. This is 2v3. Thief is here as well. Obviously, the Thief is going to be the main target. Thief still has not fucking pushed far. Why have you not gone far? Go far. Go get that decap. Brother, please. Please, please. All right, Synod, the Scourge, is rotating alone to get the decap here. Because his Thief won't. Like... brother. That's a nice pull onto Janun. He actually did not use AED. That's really good. That's really useful. So 5v4 for the blue team. This will lead to a decap in mid, I'm sure of it. Eventually, Frostball is going to have to, like, leave the node. There's 3 players here. He can't answer it. There we go. He gives up the neutral immediately anyway. And red team have obviously still got ownership of 1 node, with Kaz's having picked that up on their close. You can see that the Chrono is currently contesting into the Soul Beast. So this is, once again, really useful. Helm back into play. They want to make sure they don't give up this node, because this is the one node that's been giving them constant point gain. Look at the timeline, guys. All right? Look how long they've owned this node for, okay? This one node is what's keeping them in the game. Similarly, the close node for the red team is what's keeping the red team in this game. The mid node has belonged to the blue team for, I would say, the longest period of time versus what the red team have had. But the red team have held their close node for longer than what the blue team have held their close node for. Okay, so if the win condition, right? I'm serious. The win condition is literally just for the Thief on the blue team to go and decap that node more often, right? If the Thief sees the opportunity to go and get that decap more often, then the blue team can start to take a lead, and we see it happening before our eyes. The Hollow-Smith is just dying. AD procs go straight into Elixir S. Kaiser's looking to get pressured. He's rotating back towards his node to get that cap. No, actually, no. He's looking to contest mid because he wants to make sure that they do not cap that. However, Reliable Hospital Chunzu looking to get that decap. Does get it. Sorry, the Scene of Mercy, what am I saying? Decap for? Fuck me. Kaiser's looking to, again, prevent that cap. Thief is answering to it. Synod and Chunsu need to get back to the mid node ASAP so they can pick that up. This is what they need to win. Guys, we predict the fucking... You don't keep the stats over the map, you dingus. Shut up, Sin. All right, so Chunsu's going to be picking up this mid node. And, of course, Flandry is picking up this... or maintaining this close node. So this is the double node pickup. This is a nice comeback for the blue team. We will potentially see a rotation here from Phalantif, who's going to go and get that decap. No, instead he wants to withdraw into... is that really the preventative, really? I guess maybe that does prevent, but you could go and get that decap and, ensure it. You don't necessarily need to win that 1v1 in the helm. Just go and rotate. Just go and get that decap. Just go. Re-engages. Okay. Yeah. Secure it, buddy. There we go. All right, so blue team 100% win this game. That's the only way that it can go, because this game, I'm not gonna lie, was pretty much carried, I'm gonna say, by Flandry. Flandry carried this on Soul Beast. I genuinely think that the amount of times that Flandry was in like 1v3s, 1v4s, and did not give up ownership of the node, again, was getting +1 pretty often by the Thief. The Thief wasn't rotating as much as possibly could have, but I do still think that this was carried just by those numbers advantages by the class. There obviously was the +1 and the spikes of Sakiki. I'm not underruling anybody else. I'm just saying that the amount of times that Flandry was at a disadvantage and did not fold, like played through the defenses properly, really good job. Okay. Are they going to line up? Where is everybody? Use your shit, boys. Right, let me just leave. Bye. And there's a Kiki with the laurels. What a fucking troll, dude.